Hi everybody, my name is Taylor Greene. I'm one of the audiologists here at Audiology Associates.
My name is Rhys Barber. I'm the other audiologist here at Audiology Associates.
So we got 3 patients, we say? 4?
3.
3 patients in this compilation.
You, I think.
Yeah. You can already kind of see what the problem again is on this one. A little bit of a bruise there on the ear canal. So this patient's been using cotton buds to try and clear the ears, which cotton buds never really do that. You'll get a tiny little bit out, but this is basically what it'll do. It's just going to shove all that wax right down over the front of your eardrum and cause all sorts of problems. But this looks like it's been in here for a while, to be fair. It's very dry, yeah. It's compact. So I think this has been in here a little while, to be fair.
It's got that kind of almost matte look about the wax. And when it gets that kind of matte look, it's been here a while.
Yep. So what I'm basically trying to do here is when it's right up against the eardrum, you can see it just looks absolutely solid. And at this point, I'm thinking, am I even going to get this away? Because it is pretty tough. What we try to do is break away the edges, try and peel away the edges. I think I remember doing this one. I think this also was another follow-up, again a really tricky one that
from Katie,
from Katie, where she's had a bit of difficulty. Again, understandable. I've had a bit of difficulty taking this out myself. But the problem was that, again, the patient went away. They said they used drops, but it didn't really kind of make any difference to the wax at all. So it's a bit of a tricky one here. So I've popped some oil in a hope that it's going to start getting underneath, so we can start peeling this away a little bit. I think if this is the one that I'm thinking of, I think I end up having to use a manual tool on this one to try and peel it away.
Wow, that deep as well.
I think it's this one. It might be a different video, because I know I've definitely put it up as a video, but suction just really wasn't doing anything.
The thing is, if it's that solid, and like you said, when you get that matte appearance to the front of it, that surface is super hard as well. So you just can't bed in for the grip for the suction.
No. And you can see it's just not doing anything at all. It's absolutely solid.
Blinking heck.
Yeah. So I think I do try to suction different areas in a second.
You can see working that one corner, because you're getting a slight lift on the one corner.
Yep.
See, is that top left? It's quite angular, isn't it? That top left. It's not a thick. It's not the greatest angle to try and get a suction tube on for grip. You could only just really peel with a suction tube, couldn't you? Yeah,
the patient's got like a relatively narrow ear canal as well, which kind of made it a little bit more difficult, which is why I'm kind of hovering at the entrance here, because I'm actually holding the ear canal open with the end of the endoscope. So that's why I'm not sort of any deeper. We've managed to get it there. So it's not this video which I use the manual tools on, it's a different one. Sorry, I've just kind of spoiled one of my other videos I'm doing.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert for the next one. It's on its way. So again, what we managed to do there, the reason that came away is we managed to get a portion of that little plug, and we managed to actually get a little bit of a suction grip, and that slight pressure that started to build up with the suction, luckily managed to release this.
Very lucky with that, because sometimes when they're that impacted, you just can't get beyond it. No. You really, really can't.
Yeah, we do use a bit of a. This is the round head Jobson horn that we've got here. Not really a massive fan of these round head ones, to be honest, because they can be quite thick on the end.
Yeah. I think it's great for, I would say, for maybe softer, mushier types of wax. Where you get a nice scoop.
Yeah.
But I think that's, for me personally, I would say that's the only real kind of use I would get out of those.
Yeah. You can see a little bit of tympanosclerosis here as well, which is scar tissue. And I've only got one ruler on the ruler shot for some reason. No idea what's happened there.
Would you like to make the inches harder? That's what you're trying to
do. Someone's hiding my ruler.
Just a half an inch on that one. Okay, just a half an inch. So I think the title I gave this one was a thick wax plug, I think, or thick dark wax plug. So you literally, that's the entrance to the canal. So you could see this wax with the naked eye. I'm not even in the canal at all and starting to work on this wax plug.
Just like this far away.
Yeah. Just whipping it right to the corners. But I'm trying to kind of loosen this off. Look at that. It's kind of right at the entrance. It doesn't look like it's particularly kind of, I don't think it's quite attached to the roof of the canal.
It's that messy type of wax, isn't it? It looks,
is.
the wax can kind of go like this when patients use like stronger drops.
Yeah.
It's that almost that kind of consistency where it's like softened and then dried back up a little bit.
So it always reminds me of is remember Aeros, that kind of bubbly chocolate, almost like like chocolate with lots of air bubbles in it, because it kind of it looks a bit like that, just because of the way the more aggressive wax softeners, they basically generate oxygen, don't they? And that's I think it's oxygen. I think it is, and that's meant to loosen off the canal wall. So the fizzing action you get is that kind of loosening action, but what it does a lot of the time with the consistency is it kind of almost aerates the wax. You get these kind of bubbly consistency to it.
Yeah.
Bit of dry skin around the outside edge, and not an easy consistency. You've got two very, very different consistencies to work. Oh my God, I can't speak today, Taylor. Consistencies.
I got your teeth here.
I should put them in there. Consistencies to work with. We're getting there now. Let's have a look. Pull this away.
Oh, that's a tricky one though, to be fair. All that dead skin as well along the outer edge of it.
Dead skin coming away, isn't it? It's always, because you're always got that in the back of your mind. It's always, oh, are we going to clarinet? But the other thing that's always difficult with this is when you start wrapping that skin, you're pulling it from the edges and pulling it over, which is what we're doing here. But what tends to happen is it almost wraps the plug underneath. And as you're trying to pull, you've got a good grip on the skin, but because it's still firmly attached to the back, it doesn't want to budge.
Tricky.
Yeah, not easy, not easy. You can sometimes use it almost like a sled. You can kind of get the grip and kind of on the skin and pull, and it brings the wax plug with it.
Oh, that's what you're looking for.
That's what you wanted to see, was that last little kind of...
little boulder kind of moving forward.
But look at that bend, that first bend. And, and going into that second, quite a sweep there on that second bend, isn't it?
Oh, not easy.
No. So just going a little bit deeper now, just to clear these last couple of pieces off.
Again, it's got that awkward kind of the skin there, where if you start to pull on that, that's just going to start peeling down the rest of the ear canal.
Yep. So I'm just going in now. I'm just going to do just a quick tidy on the outside edge. I just don't like these kind of mushy bits hanging around the outside edge here. So we're just going to get rid of those. And there's a very thin layer that's just at the kind of back end. Let's get rid of this first. Sometimes I'll do this if I need to give my arm a break as well.
Yeah.
For a particularly tough morning and you start to feel everything just start to tighten and stiffen a little bit, I'll come back out and do a really kind of big movement rather than these really fine movements.
Trying to walk around and like stretch off a little bit just before you go back. Like, come on.
Like I think in was it Mission Impossible with Henry Cavill? He like reloads the guns. That's what he just started doing. Did you share as he come in? Taylor Greene. Ouchie, what's that?
Yeah, so we've got...
what is that?
This is kind of a post-infection. Patient's been having some problems, in the ears. And you can kind of see it's a lot of there's a little bit of wax there, but it's a lot of dead skin, and you can see it's almost kind of been
tough, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a kind of like an infected. You can see how humid it is as well. So the patient has been on antibiotic spray to try and clear up the infection, which is it's pretty much done that pretty well. Hence why it's so dry and hard. Like sometimes this can be quite like soft and wet almost. So we've got the rosin inserter in here now, because I thought, it looks really tough. So I think, we need that thin tool now just to try and just edge my way into that, try and peel it away from the ear canal, basically. You sometimes are quite lucky with these. It'll start peeling and then you'll get the whole, you'll basically remove like a cast of the ear canal. So that's kind of what I'm hoping is going to happen here now, if I can just slowly, take these little bits away.
It almost looks like you get that with that sort of almost like powdery looking fungal infection. That's what it almost looks like over the top.
So it's started to peel quite nicely. I'll try and lift this bit up here as well. Your heart always kind of sinks when you see ones like this, and you think, this is... could go one of both ways. It can be either really easy to remove, or it can be an absolute nightmare.
when it almost hinges to me on that kind of crumble, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If you start doing it and you get the crumble to it, is where it all starts kind of breaking away in tiny, tiny little pieces. You know it's going to be a hard slog to get that out. Luckily for you, though, this is looking quite solid, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it would just depend on whether it goes down over the drum or not as well.
Yeah. Just going to hold the ear canal open here now, try and peel it off from the left. So that essentially then would mean that we've fully released this plug, mostly apart from what's behind, from the ear canals. So we're usually, once the infection's been sort of killed off, it's really dry and solid in there. We're usually okay to pop a little bit of oil in to help us to take this out. I can't remember if I actually do that.
That's going back a fair way, mate, isn't it?
I think it's pretty much going the whole length, to be honest.
Because that's almost like keratin, so it's almost like it's been, that skin's been kind of drying out and dehydrating for a long time, isn't it?
Yep.
That whole surface layer is coming away there. My goodness me.
Tricky old one to do.
Yeah. And fair play for using a rosin inserter in there as well, because sometimes they just pull, they tear, don't they? Through the dead skin, but that's actually coming away really, really well.
It's coming away okay. I think I may end up using a set of forceps eventually, trying to look into that little gap there.
That looks forceps, yeah, we'd say. Grab that end there. It's just, but now you've released the edge though.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking here. If I just gently kind of do little wiggles and, just slowly pull this, it should start to peel. It's
torn,
basically, sheared a little bit away.
But it did look like it was loosening. I don't know why I was trying to see down the right hand side. It wasn't going to bother. It wasn't going to work. But looking at that though, I think that's is it going to go?
Yeah, you can see it's all starting to come off the bottom there. Look. Just going to reposition now.
It's that back end, isn't it? It's all hinges on what's happening with that. Is that covering the drum or not?
Yeah, we got a good grip here now. Really slowly. I don't want this to break away, which it does. Spoke too soon.
But at least you can get to the deeper sections then. And,
yeah.
It kind of frees up a little bit of the visuals there. And
that's it. Yeah.
Just to get beyond it. Oh, that is a peel and a half.
It's literally just coming away in little sections, so we've got this awkward deep bit now, which I thought, because these front bits have broken away, I thought, is this going to be a bit of a nightmare now to try and remove this last bit? But yeah, as I say, I started pulling on this little bit here, trying to fold everything into the forceps. I'm trying to get a really, really solid grip here.
You can see just above there, like where it's peeling off the drum as well. Whoa.
Oh, there we are, look. There's that cast we were on about.
Wow, look at that. It almost looks like a chrysalis, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's got that kind of appearance to it.
Yeah, so a little bit of a, little bit red there, understandable. Patients had an infection, they've been using sprays, very dry in there. The sprays are usually an acetic acid that is used, and that is a really good result. Post-infection. There are some occasions where we can't fully get it to that state, but that's a perfect example of a post-infection dead skin removal.
Nice. Yeah, that was a good one. I enjoyed that one.
So 3 centimetres? Yes, 3 centimetres on it.
I'm glad you said. I forgot to do the inches. Inch and a quarter. There you go.
Lovely.
Perfect. Well, guys, thank you very much for watching that video again today. I hope you enjoyed the video as much as me and Taylor did voicing it over. Don't forget, if you do enjoy the videos, you can always like, heart, share, follow, and subscribe. If you thoroughly enjoy the videos, you can also consider becoming members of the channel. That way then you get to see even more videos every single week. But in the meantime, guys, take care of yourselves.
Take care of your ears.
And take care of one another. Myself and lovely Mr. Taylor Greene. We'll see you again soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.